Alrighty all, welcome back to the G-Man Show. We're back again on the internet together again today. We're talking through Melbourne crime once again. A bit of a hot topic. It's been all over the news of late, where Melbourne has hit a huge record and the crime's the highest it's ever been. Got a number of different stories today that we're going to talk through. Let's just get into it.
Good afternoon. There's been a breakthrough in the brutal killings of two young friends by a machete-wielding gang in Melbourne's west. Live now to Jacqueline Stanley with the details. Jack, good afternoon. Police have made 7 arrests.
All of them aged between 15 and 19 years old. Tash, it's the first major update that we've had since the two friends were murdered while walking home from basketball a little shy of 2 weeks ago. Da Akwang was 15 years old and friend Chol Achik was only 12. The pair was set upon by a large group of youths with machetes in a relentless attack. Their cries for help bringing neighbours out into the street, but they both died at the scene. It's a crime that has shaken the community, and a new memorial has been placed at the sites in the boys' honour. It's also brought Melbourne's machete crime crisis into sharp focus. I spoke to the father of Chol Achik a short time ago. Now, he's adamant the government needs to do more to address it.
The government, I want to see how you will treat this issue. For people who have taken the life of innocent kids, who have done nothing, how will you treat them?
I think what I was saying of the cause of this was, and it's absolutely no cause for, as I said, more or less grown kids, anywhere from 16 to 19 or whatever it was, to chase down a 12-year-old and set upon him viciously. It was a horrible, horrible thing that's happened. But to my understanding, it's online bullshit, Facebook posts or something like that, and then somebody's taken that to heart, obviously, and the only resolution is to smack a kid in the head with a machete or whatever they've done. Very, really stomach-twisting stuff to even think about a young kid screaming like that, being chased down, and also his friend, the 15-year-old. So it has brought machete crime into the focus, but I would say that people have been saying this for a long time, and there's been a lot of gaslighting by police and by the government saying that there isn't gang violence, particularly in these communities in Victoria or Melbourne, and it's huge. So it had brought it to the forefront. I did a video on it a couple of weeks ago and got called all sorts of things in relation to that, and I'll link it at the back of this if you haven't seen it, but I talked about it as the news hit. We've got very big problems here.
The police swooped on the 7 suspects in early morning raids today. They're all currently being interviewed by detectives, and charges are expected to be laid in the near future. Tash?
Jacqueline, thank you.
That's the thing. I think the world's gone absolutely mad. You got more or less kids or young men, 19-year-old, running around thinking that it's a good idea to solve a dispute by literally hitting someone with a sword. That's basically what a machete is. Well, what's going on? What's ever happened to the punch-on? Just have a punch-on and get over and done with and move on. Not that I'm even endorsing that, but it's gone from punch-on to hacking limbs off and murdering people. I think the punishment does not fit the crime of talking shit on the internet. All right, let's move on. We've got another one, another brazen crime. A woman being attacked at a car wash in Melbourne, in the southeast.
Good evening. An innocent woman has fought back against an armed thug in a terrifying car wash confrontation in Melbourne's southeast. Every second of the ordeal was caught on camera before hero witnesses helped police corner and catch the suspect.
A morning at the car wash took a terrifying turn when a woman was confronted and attacked by a man attempting to steal her vehicle. She was hit over the head before bravely confronting the attacker as others rushed to help.
First thing is just calm down. Don't be mad. Calm down.
When the adrenaline runs through.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's going to work. Hey, dude, who's probably drug affected and has no issue with punching women in the face. Yeah, dude, just calm down. Stop it. He's like, oh, yeah, you know what? Sorry, mate. I've just got a bit, took it a bit over the top there. I'll calm down. Yeah, thanks for saying that.
You and you're all sort of in that moment, you'll do anything just to make sure that people are safe, and especially hitting a lady, it's just not on.
The quick-thinking father of 4 didn't hesitate, chasing down the thug.
And at that time, he had jumped on the local bus here to go to the Kringle shops, and I was able to alert police that he was on that bus. I was able to...
There you go, so Frankston area, Kringle, that's up near Frankston.
...follow and make sure that he wasn't to go anywhere.
Mr Purdy was on the phone with 000 right up until the dramatic takedown, less than a kilometre up the road.
They swooped on him and grabbed him out of the bus and thanked me for it, for letting them know where he was.
Residents across the southeast say they feel forced to take matters into their own hands because of the surge in crime. And it's lucky no one was seriously hurt. Tonight, the 24-year-old is in custody, yet to be charged. But after a joint effort in the arrest, public trust and confidence in our laws are at an all-time low.
Fuming.
Clearly we've got a problem here. You say, oh, G-Man, you are singling out people of that background on the news. But it's every second day there's something like this.
Angry, sick of it. It seems to be just too easy for everyone just to get away with bail and then think that this is just a joke.
Cassie Zervos, 7 News.
All right, okay, and once again, we're on a really uplifting topic today, but I think it's just important to talk about it and keep it at the forefront because a lot of people are saying these things around the kitchen table, you're saying to your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, but no one wants to talk about it or say it in the open because you're labelled a racist or a bigot or a bogan, whatever it is. I get called all sorts of shit. I really don't care. Toxic, whatever it is, for raising these things that are blatant issues in society. Machetes. Absolutely mental.
A food delivery driver has been terrorised by a group of machete-wielding teens during a violent carjacking attempt in Melbourne's northwest. But the victim turned the tables, chasing down his attackers, who tonight remain on the run.
4 thugs run, each swinging a machete, leaving their victim bleeding in the street from a deep gash to his hand. The group had just tried to carjack a DoorDash delivery driver's Honda in Melton.
What a fucking piece of shit. Piece of shit people. Well, Melton's a real hotbed of crime.
Around 7 last night, the 23-year-old victim's mate was in the car with him when the youths swarmed, snatching its keys from the ignition.
They were yelling and they were like banging.
Food had just been dropped to 15-year-old Cadence Hart, who saw the attack through her window.
I felt horrible that I couldn't even go out there and help because if I did, I would have been hurt as well.
They will have no issue. And someone, as I said, these people with these machetes, they're going to have no issue whacking you with it. So it's a good thing she did stay inside.
One kid who was filming the whole thing.
The group eventually gave up and ran.
All the kids nowadays, they keep it in their pants and then they pull it out and then stab.
Despite the danger, the victim and his mate chased the attackers for 300 metres and confronted them in a nearby court as residents watched on from their homes.
I was terrified.
They had a couple of swings and I thought, shit, this is fair income.
They were shouting at the pair.
I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. And then the other guy, let's go. And that's when they took off.
The driver ran to a nearby house for help, nursing his wound.
Quite deep. Really bloody.
What do you do? Like someone's there bleeding and it's like, well, I can't administer first aid to the extent that he needed. So get him to somewhere that can.
They drove him to a medical centre. He was discharged from hospital today as police search for the attackers.
You can't even go out your house without being scared you'll be stabbed or killed. It's horrible.
Paul Dowsley, 7 News.
There you go, another uplifting one. And so what are people now doing now? People feeling the need. It's been mentioned across the previous clips that I've talked about. People, the community, feeling like they need to fight back because they don't feel safe. Police can't keep up with all of this. And these people that are doing these crimes, the jail system's too full for them, so they get bailed. Only to be caught up in other crimes. So the first video there was those 2 kids that were taken out by that gang of machete-wielding people. I think there was a report recently, not a report, like a news media bulletin about it, that one or more of those guys who did that, they were recently charged and released on other machete-related gang violence. So straight out in the community, what do? Just do it again. Alrighty, halfway through, if you're enjoying this as much as you can, or like my talking points, consider subscribing to the channel, like, comment, share, and press that hype button if it is there.
A father arming his young girls to prepare for the worst.
For self-defense, if you have to kill, so be it.
The family feels like they've got no choice after teenagers crept into their Point Cook home twice, stealing their cars.
If it has to come down to killing someone to protect yourselves within the vicinity of your own house, I have taught her yesterday to go ahead and do it. And this is the most unfortunate thing. I would rather be...
Yeah, and the thing is, you do that here in Australia, they'll arrest you. Unless you can absolutely prove that your life was in danger. There's all these nuances with self-defense laws. So really, you could be locked up for protecting yourself in your own home or your own family. There was a news story, it might have been a couple of years ago now, and there was this young father, probably in his 30s. He woke up in the middle of the night, his daughter was screaming. A young girl, 4 or 5 years old, screaming. So he's run to the bedroom, and out of instinct, there was a dude standing there, like some random dude. I think he was off his face on drugs or something. He'd gotten into the house and he was standing in the girl's bedroom. So what does he go and do? He tackles the guy at the ground and he's put him in some sort of headlock or hold. And during that struggle, the intruder suffered like brain damage because the guy put him in like a MMA hold, right? Like just cut off the blood flow to his brain more or less because he was in protection mode, right? He wasn't asking questions before he did it. There's a guy standing at the end of your daughter's bed. What do? You just grab the guy and take him down, or at least try your very best. Anyway, that guy got done for manslaughter, went to prison. There you go.
Teaching her math and science.
It's the harsh reality. And I'm telling both my girls, grow your nails so that I'll teach you some basic techniques to attack somebody's face with your nails. And these are things that you don't teach a child.
The latest attack came at 1:30 a.m. yesterday when a gang of teens broke in via the laundry door and stole keys to their BMW, taking off with it in less than 4 minutes.
It makes me feel sad. I couldn't sleep last night.
Late last year, their Nissan was stolen too.
I also feel really unsafe in my own house.
The two sisters are now learning self-defense.
My dad gave me a wooden stick. I keep it under my bed.
I have a wooden stick just like her underneath my bed, and God forbid anybody comes in, you have to hit them. I don't think
pretty sure it's not really a great idea because these kids, and they're not going to be able to hit that person hard enough. It's just going to set them off, and they'll probably do some damage. But it's scary, isn't it? You got little kids here in Melbourne sleeping with wooden stakes under their bed provided by the parents because the parents are petrified of criminals who've already been and broken into the home. And I suspect that'll probably be in the western suburbs. So it's absolutely rife. People just feeling entitled to come into your house and take your shit.
Violence is the answer, but when it comes to protecting yourself, I guess it is.
Crime in the area has become so bad, other victims have told 7 News they haven't bothered to report their home invasions to police because they don't want to waste their time knowing the offenders will be granted bail.
Doesn't surprise me because there aren't any real consequences. People are just fed up, like they won't even bother reporting small crimes. They're slowly losing the trust.
Police strongly discourage anyone from attempting to confront an offender, but from a terrified 12-year-old pleading to the government.
Your whole entire state is under danger right now. I think something needs to change, and I think you need to start with it.
Cassie Zervos, 7 News.
There you go, 7 News, right? They're having a crack at the government. There you go. I wouldn't have thought that would have been what would have happened. Oh yeah, I think it's real shocking. You get news reports like this, little kids with wooden stakes. Obviously, they're props. Like, what are they going to do with them, really? All right, so this is another one. This is it's a bit of a longer one. I'm not sure if I'll watch the whole thing, but it's got to do with a local fathers within a particular community who were going out and more or less surveying, monitoring the streets for crime.
Tonight, we're going on night patrol with a group of suburban dads who are so fed up with rising rates of crime, they've decided to take matters into their own hands.
They've formed their own security detail, driving around southeast Melbourne in the early hours of the morning in a bid to protect themselves and their families from near-daily home invasions. Sam Butler has this 10 News Plus exclusive.
Victoria's crime rates have soared to their highest level in almost 2 decades.
A lot of it is to do with the notoriety, trying to make themselves out as being special.
Family has been left traumatised after armed intruders broke into their homes.
Armed and looking for a way in. 2 intruders stalk along a family home.
Police say in both cases the cars were stolen. The teens are aged between 14 and 16.
Home invasions are at record levels.
Police rocked up and they said, get out, like get inside, lock your doors, stay safe. There's people out here that are invading people's homes.
It's 3 a.m. on the streets of Malvern in Melbourne's southeast.
People start together and we'll split up in an hour.
Do a couple laps together and then split up?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So, one of the things here with most of these crimes and these fights with machetes and break-ins and all of that, I'm just going to say it. Generally, it's people from countries in Africa. I don't know which ones. I'm not an expert. And people from the Middle East, Middle Eastern or Arabic countries. Just disregard for human life and use extreme violence. I'm not saying every single person. And then people say, well, G-Man, what are you talking about? These are Australians. They were born here. They didn't just come over on a boat and start hitting people. I get it, but they're brought up, unfortunately, hating the country in which their maybe parents brought them to or came to and then tried to start lives. Just hating Australia, hating Australians, not respecting the laws, spitting in the face of their parents who are probably doing the right thing. That's what I think is the travesty here, because 99% of them or more, 99.9% of these communities are law-abiding people trying to have good lives, and you got their kids who think they're gangsters going and really running an absolute muck and bringing down the reputation of whole migrant communities. But you can't say that it's not a thing. There aren't links to it. There are.
We're joining Tim and his mate Ferg on their morning patrol.
With the rate of the invasions going on in his direct area, it simply got to a point where there was so much crime going on that we felt that we wanted or needed to have eyes on the streets.
This is one of the city's most affluent areas, which also makes it a target. Opportunistic crooks, often armed, breaking into homes to steal luxury cars.
It's every week for sure, and it's just getting, I guess what's concerning, it's just getting more and more brazen. Sometimes it's happening in daylight hours as late as 6:30 or 7. And spotlights and CCTV cameras don't deter. There are some people that are really scared to the point where they don't want to be home alone at all.
That fear motivated these men to start surveilling the streets themselves.
I mean, what are they going to do, really? And the thing is, if they go and make any citizens arrest or get caught up in any violence, they're going to get charged, even if they are doing the right thing by the community. They'll say, no, stay, don't retaliate, stay inside, call the police. Well, the police are probably very stretched. To my understanding, there are reports that the police are struggling to recruit and they're understaffed. I don't blame them. Who would want to be a cop? The amount of shit you got to put up with. People think it's all, they're playing Call of Duty or whatever video game. They think they're going to go out there and it's going to be like in the movies and SWAT teams and shit. I know that exists, but really you're just dealing with drug-affected people. You're dealing with family violence. You're seeing heaps of bad shit. Seeing all this sort of stuff, I don't know why you'd sign up for it. That's my opinion.
The group of suburban dads quickly grew to more than 24 volunteers who work in pairs on a rotating roster.
Yeah, we usually start with a nice coffee. That's pretty important part of the shift. And then we separate. We'll most of the time be in 2 different cars. As I said, we've just got a list of the streets of the members of the patrol, but we'll generally cover as many streets as we can in the general area. And we'll either just discreetly and slowly roll through the streets, just looking up and down footpaths and streets and whatnot. Or, as Ferg mentioned, some people like to just park up at an intersection and turn the lights off and turn the car off and just wait to see if they can see anything. We're not trained to do this. We don't really have any specific techniques or tactics. But when we do see any suspicious behaviour, and it does happen, we'll either report it and or do something to deter whoever it is to bugger off.
Their community WhatsApp message group is inundated.
Bit dangerous when you got people running around with machetes. As I said, they're happy to swing those around. Like, look at that first video. I don't want to talk about it too much. It's pretty distressing. You know, a little kid chopped down in a park somewhere. So, you know, they're going to do that to a 12-year-old. They're going to have no issue taking a swipe and slash or stab or hack up an adult who they feel threatened by.
With terrifying daily clips taken from home security video. It's happening so often, residents are arming themselves. Some have even hired private security to keep watch at night.
Every fourth or fifth house has had the experience of someone trying to get in. And that alone, to have 3 or 4 crooks come up to your front door in the middle of the night when your family's asleep, even though that might seem pretty sort of like a somewhat of a non-event, I think that's what's playing on people's minds. For those people who've had that happen or they've had their next door neighbour, and sadly that's almost everyone in the area.
How's that a non-event? Someone's literally casing your house, there's gangs of them, and probably armed. And they do, as I said, there's no fear. They're walking around in the open. It's like they're just so used to doing it and desensitised because they've done it so many times that they're just doing it like they're working at the local McDonald's or something. Just, you know, go in, do your job, clock off.
What gets reported or what gets noticed is the tip of the iceberg. I would suggest that there's a lot of scenarios where there's invasions or there's people trying to get in and don't get in, and the people at home don't actually ever realise that happened.
For you guys to be getting up in the middle of the night, rolling out, you know, you've got families at home, you then go and work a full-time job, like that's pretty extreme. What does that say about the state of things, that this is kind of what you feel like you have to do to feel safe?
Yeah, we don't want to be doing this. We're probably putting ourselves at danger and getting up at 2:30 in the morning. It's not something we're proud of doing. It's not something we want to be doing, and it's not something that's sustainable. But I guess until something changes, whether there's more police presence or the private security guards are more active than they are.
Good luck with that. They just put machete bins out. Yeah, let's put some machete bins and everyone stops committing crimes because they're not armed anymore. They don't have their trusty machetes. All right, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want to watch that, I'll link it in the video description. All right, this was an interesting one. This is a bit different. Now, I want to include this because it's pretty extreme crime. And this is in outskirts of Melbourne, Frankston. It goes to show you how the police just don't have the powers to take down a dangerous criminal, because this dude's dangerous. There's no ifs or buts about it. So let's just jump in and have a look at it.
A police body camera has captured the moment 2 police officers were left fighting for their lives against an armed man. Both members were injured before the suspect escaped, sparking a wild chase across Melbourne's southeast.
It was the standard police call that left 2 officers in a fight for survival against an armed man.
Put it down! Put it down! Put the knife down!
The members stabbed.
Oh, he's got a box cutter!
And punched.
Get down on the ground! Get on the ground! No!
Guy's got to be on something, like probably on ice or something like that. He just doesn't give a shit.
Hey! I'm going to spray him!
They'd come to question a suspect over a stolen car at Frankston.
Where are the plates that you took off the Jeep?
Police footage released by a judge to 7 News shows 25-year-old Diesel Jackson punching a female officer in the face.
That's one thing. It's going to be called a misogynistic comment, but I don't think a woman should be on frontline police. They can't take a guy like this down. He's just going to run through her. So we've got the DEI and we've got all that stuff going on. You're putting, they want to wear the uniform and all that sort of shit and be a cop. What happens when a criminal doesn't comply and wants to start letting loose? Even 2 or 3 female cops, one dude will take him down easy, especially for not using firearms. Because I think it's like a last resort. Police can't, even in this situation, shoot anybody. You'd be put under a, formal inquiry. You'd probably lose your career, probably go to jail for murder. Because there was a lady on the news, and I don't think it was an Australian police. There was a bit of a scuffle in an airport over something, and one of the people punched the cop in the face, right? And so she's crumbled like just a ton of bricks, and she was crying and carrying on camera and all that and bleeding, and it's really bad that happened. But as I said, it's not fit for purpose. It's not fit for taking on hardened criminals or people on substances, especially males, who are violent.
Let me get out, Benson, I'm trapped. Capsicum spray had no effect, and police had no tasers.
Let him go. It's not worth it.
Tasers just let him go.
In this situation, we're fortunate that, owing to government's commitment to supply all of our members with tasers by September next year.
Jackson then fled in a stolen Jeep.
Watch out! He's going to
run. See, this is fucking useless. Like just standing by, they can't. The police just don't have any powers, really. And it was chosen just to let him go and walk out the door. So hang on, so he's allowed to get out because he was too hard to deal with. I couldn't deal with him. So let him out. He's now in a car, a forward drive, driving around like a maniac and putting the general public at risk. And you'll see how this guy drives. Have a look at this.
Get out the way!
He hit speeds of up to 170 kilometres an hour through Melbourne's southeast, driving onto footpaths and median strips. Police deployed stop sticks before a near miss. The pursuit only coming to an end when Jackson lost control and then set his stolen car on fire right outside a petrol station.
Fire! This guy's just giving zero fucks, isn't he? Excuse my language, but really, what's the other way of putting that? So he tries to stab cops. He's obviously on gear. He's on something, right? He's on the gear. He's probably on the shard. Just doesn't give a shit. Running on that pure adrenaline and sets a car on fire out the front of the police station after driving 170 kilometres. Now, what's going on here? People are just, as I said, we got those young kids, criminals running around, not respecting police. Like police aren't respected. That's what it is. They're not respected that if you don't comply, like in America, like you get shot, you get tased. Like they're not going to fuck around. They're going to throw you on your head on the concrete. Here, it's like, although they know they can't use overly excessive force. So there's zero respect, zero fear.
This vision shows is the gritty and shitty reality of policing each and every day.
Jackson had only been out of jail for 76 days when the crime spree occurred in March last year. For that reason, the judge said the only appropriate sentence was another term of imprisonment.
Good.
For the next 6 years, our community will be safer.
Estelle Grey-Pink, 7 News.
So hang on, he only got 6 years for fighting, assaulting, trying to stab cops, and then setting a car on fire after driving, on wrong side of the freeway and shit like that. 6 years. Pretty light-hearted deal. But let me talk just one more thing, guys. I love Melbourne. I love Australia. I've been making a few of these videos because I know you guys like watching them and just seeing what's going on out there, and you probably don't have the time to go and look at all the clips and all that on YouTube. So I put them all in the one place for you, and we talk through them together. I love the place, but it's really sad to see just how far it's fallen, especially in the last 10 years. Like specifically, probably I would say 10 years. I've really seen it go down. Maybe 15. Joint is absolute basket case, and it's out of control. And what is what can be done now? Has it been gone too far? It's like the UK now. People just aren't giving a shit, not respecting police. It's just, as I said, really sad to see. It's a travesty, and it's sad that the local community are fearful in their own houses, in one of the best countries in the world, in quotes, one of the most expensive countries in the world. And we've just got an out-of-control crime problem. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, guys.